Since 1931, 5 families have ruled the New York Italian-American Mafia: Bonanno, Colombo, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese. They once had links to federal and state lawmakers and interest in the entertainment sector. Their ranks may have diminished, but they can still perform amazing things. Here are 5 things only the New York crime families could do. The corruption of public officials. Corruption is described in various ways, including the contrast between petty corruption, which refers to more isolated instances of power abuse by individuals or small groups for their benefit, and grand corruption, which refers to the pervasive corruption of entire political institutions. Anthony Provenzano, a member and leader of one of the 5 families, directed the criminal operations of the Genovese crime family in New Jersey. Jimmy Hoffa gave permission to Provenzano to steal money from the Teamsters Union while serving as Hoffa's vice president. Hoffa advocated that union locals be used as piggy banks by mafia bosses who were linked with the union to gain favor with the criminal elite. Hoffa and Provenzano were sent to federal prison in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, and both served consecutive sentences for their crimes. As mafias, most of them were interested in monetary crime, including loan sharking, which we'll talk about more later. Tony Pro rose to authority within the prison by gaining the respect and allegiances of his other convicts. Immediately upon meeting, they were inseparable pals. Provenzano had promised Hoffa, who was then a government official, security in exchange for a loan to open a restaurant. Still, when Hoffa was unable to secure funding from the Teamsters, tensions between the two grew. Rumor has it that Hoffa and Provenzano were at odds when Hoffa blamed Provenzano for his troubles, saying, "It's because of guys like you that I got into problems in the first place." If you're enjoying the video, kindly hit the subscribe to join our secret buzzing community. The 5 families have a long history of abusing their prominent profiles to influence and bribe government officials. At a court hearing, Breon S. Peace, a U.S. attorney of the Eastern District of New York, said, "Even more disturbing is the shameful conduct of a detective who betrayed his oath of office." Infiltration of legitimate businesses.
Why wouldn't you?
In reality, the families of the mafia didn't operate as they do in the movies, where they just entered a tiny business and requested a portion of the profits in exchange for security. Additionally, they had complete control of the city's unions and other political organizations. The mob had its fingers in every pie, from garbage collection to building permits. Of course, the mob made sure everything was set up in their favor. The Genovese crime family has entirely taken over many significant local chapters of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters as a direct result of the power and influence of Anthony Provenzano over the years. To be more specific, Anthony Provenzano let his family operate Teamsters Local 560 like it was their little empire. Loan sharking. Lending money at an illegally high interest rate is known as loan sharking. Criminal organizations often reinvest proceeds from activities like people and drug trafficking by charging customers extremely high interest rates on loans. The 5 families are the most notorious American loan shark organizations. Anthony Provenzano, who was the leader of one of the crime families, was suspected of ordering the murder of Jimmy Hoffa, opening an episode of brutal murder by the crime families. More on that later.
Something was wrong.
Everything looked feasible as long as the 5 families remained in power over the criminal underworld. Business owners like using Loan Shake because the service consistently delivers on its promises and provides them with the capital they need. In addition, as these 5 families expanded, they realized they needed supplementary income and decided that loan sharking would be a great way to do so. Manipulation schemes. The 5 families are notorious for their manipulative antics. By securing the lion's share of control in illegal gambling markets like horse betting and the Italian lottery, the Gambino family, for instance, became industry giants. Due to their success in this endeavor, the Gambino crime family rose to prominence as one of the 5 families' most influential factions in the 1920s. This is due to their influence over a wide variety of gaming operations in and around New York.
Of course we can.
Mysterious crime and murder scheme. Each of the 5 families is known for its own brand of violent crime and murder across the city of New York. In the summer of 1975, when Jimmy Hoffa was murdered, Anthony Provenzano was a major suspect. Hoffa was on his way to meet Provenzano, an ally turned enemy, for lunch at a restaurant in the Detroit suburb on July 30th, 1975, in the midst of a fight with the mafia over labor union politics. Since Jimmy Hova's death, no one has been able to determine who was responsible for his death or locate his grave, not even the FBI. How odd. Oh, but there's more. Additionally, Anthony Castellito was found dead in his Hare-Honkston, New York fishing cabin. According to rumors, Genovese crime family boss Anthony Tony Pro Provenzano gave the order. But how influential was Tony Pro to be able to orchestrate so many killings? Find the answers in our other video. How influential was Anthony Provenzano and the Genovese crime families?